City Matters.
Hello, this is Rich Acritelli. I'm here again on hmTV, The Fog of War and Humanity. To the left of me, for our third episode, I have Janet. Janet has an amazing life from her roots in New York City to Paris Island to the first Gulf War to seeing some of the very horrible parts of war, especially the environmental, with Saddam Hussein and just lighting up the fire wells, the oil wells itself, to coming home, and then her transition from military life to going upstate New York for a 2-year degree, right near Binghamton, to closer to home here on Long Island, to St. Joe's for a 4-year degree, and to becoming a lawyer. So not bad from a girl from Queens, right? Who
Not at
had
all.
maybe not much of an understanding of what she wanted to do, and she kind of nailed it along the way. She did very well. You did very well for yourself. Now, you were talking about handling some services with children and child abuse and seeing some very, harsh situations.
That
right?
was rough, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, after 2 years, I just had enough. It's
burnt out.
Yeah, very quick. And then from that, I went to practicing Social Security disability. So
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm getting closer. I'm helping people.
That's a huge part of our society in terms of that entitlement, making sure that it's there and people are able to get it, right?
Oh
And
yeah, and particularly even
dealing with the government.
And then, it kind of dawned on me, and the folks that I worked for at the time, we said, you know what? Why not veterans law? Why not help veterans? Because you kind of get the best of both worlds. There are a lot of veterans that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they can't work, whether it's for physical reasons, psychiatric reasons, or a combination. So those are the guys I really want to help. So
And you're not quite sure the path towards getting benefits and help and support, which is not an easy.
no,
No matter how much they simplify, it's still hard to figure out.
Oh, it's tough because I think in the military you're always told, don't complain, right? In the Marine Corps, you don't complain, or you're a non-hacker, or you don't dare go to sick hole. And even if by some off chance you made it to sick hole, they're giving you Motrin. You have some Motrin, get back in formation.
It's not curing you.
No, I'd say you could be dragging a bloody stump behind you as long as, you're in formation on time, all's right with the world. So I think veterans, we have a tendency to overlook or make light of a lot of what happens to us. We're like, it's all right, I'll deal with it. Or you don't want to take time out to go to sick hole. You can't be sick because if you're sick, your buddy's going to be shouldering whatever you didn't. So there's that.
There's that toll that's on the veteran that comes out sometimes later on in life.
And it is confusing. They don't make it easy. It's, to me, I kind of analogize it to knowing about Medicare. You know what I mean? It's confusing for most veterans. They don't understand the process. And it's time consuming. There's no quick fix there, But if I can get them on the right track, for me, I think by working with other veterans, I think I found my
Do you still do that
purpose.
today?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do
I
you
still do it
work
today.
for a law firm, or do you have your own practice, or how does that work?
I used to work for a law firm, and I was with them for about 16 years. And they are just, I have the utmost respect for them, greatest people. But for me, I was like, it's time. Maybe I spread my wings and go out on my own. So I did go out on my own.
And where are you based out of?
Right here on Long Island.
Okay.
Most of the work I do I speak to veterans on the phone. I take appointments only, as far as going into the office. But I'm also an active.
Where is your office located?
The main office where I get my mail is over in Ronkonkoma, right on
Good.
Veterans Memorial Highway.
Centrally located too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And that firm, they're still doing Social Security. They're still doing workers' comp. And they're great people.
What's the name of the firm? If somebody wanted to reach out to you, what would the name of the firm be?
It's the law offices of Janet Santeramo Dwell. Yep.
Great.
Yep.
I mean, that's a huge, achievement to have, huge accomplishment.
And I still participate. Besides working, I still participate with my VFW that I've been a member of for over 20 years at this point.
Now, which VFW is that?
Post 6249 over in Rocky Point.
And we end up doing some pretty good things there, right?
Oh yeah, I love those guys. They're just the best. They're very active, out in the community. They're helping other veterans. They're helping people in the community. We have a great museum. We're always doing something. I mean, if you go over there, we're always something's going on.
And you're never hungry after you leave, right?
No.
There's always
Not ever.
always food and drink and right?
Yeah, and those guys.
They like to be around too.
And I like to be around them because there's a mutual understanding there. If I was gonna say anything to other veterans who aren't sure if they belong someplace, go to a VFW post. Go to an active post, man. If you're looking for a purpose, you'll find it there.
Plus, you have a lot of different experiences too. If one person doesn't know or a second person doesn't know, you're going to go down that line and somebody might have insight on how to help you.
Oh, a wealth of information, those guys are. An absolute wealth, because I find that people don't get the word out enough. If we don't help each other, nobody's going to help us. So when we get to talking, it's like, hey, did you know you could do that? It's VFW's great wealth of information. You can find a purpose there.
Sure.
Especially the younger guys, the older guys, the Vietnam veterans. They've been at it for a long time trying to help and do what they got to do.
Those guys are still leading the way. They're a little bit older now, but they're still showing that vigor. And I think probably in the next so many years, you're going to see that next generation of veterans, as they're getting older, will now start stepping probably, into those jobs that the Vietnam vets are doing now.
Well, that's the hope.
That's the cycle, right?
That's always the hope, because look, it is a family-friendly place. The old school way of thinking, people used to think that VFW posts were just a bunch of old men getting
drinking.
drunk.
Yeah.
Not at our post.
No. There's a sense of camaraderie that's, incredible when you see it, and it's something that's necessary. Now, you look at your background, when somebody comes up to you and they need a hand, right? And they say, well, you're a lawyer, these are things that you do. What will they ask you for help for?
Sometimes I find it's not always the veteran. Sometimes it's a family member, usually when they're having a tough time. And sometimes they'll ask me about benefits. Sometimes they'll say, I don't know what to do with myself. What do I do? And I'm like, listen, get involved in something. Because I find that's the thing that most people have an issue with. They get back, they're still trying to figure out where they want to go, what they want to do. They're looking for a purpose.
Sure.
And helping each other is a purpose. We got one of the guys at the post. If somebody needs a
outside of the 3256 Foundation, police officer Michael Curtin, who was lost at 9/11. He was a Marine. His family does an unbelievable at Cherry Creek. We're along those lines there. It's a very consistent. Every year we do it. The guys come, they get the shirts. They love the shirts in terms of we do different colors for each year. And we've had a very, very, I would say, a very loyal following in terms of people coming and playing golf and
They always have a
knowing what
great
the
time.
cause is. And, they get fed during the course of the day. We have a great raffle.
And people know where the money is going, Like I said, the Post doesn't keep any of it. It goes in one hand and right
Look
out
at
to
the Tunnel of the
organizations.
Towers, right? They just
Yep.
found 3 people in terms of remains almost 25 years after the fact. This money goes back to their families, goes to helping them,
And they support veterans, veterans who are having a tough time finding housing. A lot of great organizations out there.